Hey everyone, welcome back in. Betsperts Golf here for a look at the 2025 Zurich Classic. Wrinkle in the schedule.
Here, hold my hand.
You're in the wrong
Team
side.
play. No, you're doing the wrong side, buddy. Team play.
This
It's
doesn't
team
look like...
play. We're a team. We didn't enter, even though apparently there's like 100 teams. Rory's just going to win. I've thought about this one. I didn't get the first look, but man, I've thought about this one a little. It's a weird tournament.
Okay. Let's expand on this. You've thought of it? You've thought about this?
At first, it was like, man, do they just repeat because they're so good? But there's been good teams that play here. Like, there's been teams with like very good players, and you still get some randos at the top of the leaderboard. So I don't know what to think of this one. We'll do some research today. We'll dig into some stats, but it feels like it's either you got to bet on a really good team, which sucks because the number sucks, or you got to find some randos who can absolutely spike it on approach. Because small greens, toughish green in regulation, I guess. More of it is proximity, getting it close on some of these tiered greens, and find some guys that are just going to throw some darts. And you might bet on a team that plays really poorly because you're looking. You're not looking for someone who's been consistently good. You're looking for a team that has a couple guys that have just out of nowhere can gain 4 strokes on approach.
Yeah. Third Pete Dye track in 6 weeks. Some, I think, commonalities throughout what we see at Harbor Town and what we saw at, we see Sawgrass as well in terms of positional off the tee, less than driver. So that kind of leads itself to what you're talking about. I think a lot of proximity, long proximity, approach shots from 200 plus is where most of it lives. We have some data on this course in the rabbit hole. Up until 2016, it was a solo event. It's shifted here as, a team event. And the team event makes it very tricky. We no longer have the shot link data, partially because of the format of, best ball on rounds 1 and 3. Alternate shot on rounds 2 and 4. So, some of this stuff gets real tricky because, you just can lean on recent approach plays you're talking about, and you can just have your guy, and the way it shakes out, have fewer approach shots than the other guy, right? He could be like, hey, we need this guy to really carry the weight. And then it just gets a little bit wonky in terms of how it's distributed. So a hard week to handicap. I think just a significantly better watch than betting events. Maybe DFS angles to be played with, how you do stuff that way. Ron will have more information than that in Discord and in his articles here on the site. From a betting standpoint, it's just tricky, especially to your point, Andy. Roy's playing as well as anyone in the world, arguably better than anyone else in the world. He and Shane's playing really well.
I was going to say Shane's not playing too poorly. Now that they've played together, they've played together on multiple occasions now. They've played together in this tournament now. It feels like a tough favorite to beat. It's like horse racing. When you have a really tough favorite, it's like, how am I approaching this? And sometimes when you're betting horses, you don't bet against the favorite. You look for other ways. Sure. You say, you know what? I'm boxing him. I'm putting him in the one spot. I'm finding a try box with some other long shots to finish second and third. I know we're probably not going to put some Quinillas together for, we could. I've seen those markets up in places, but
yeah, you box it. I feel like, all good about it if it's boxed. I don't care.
Yeah, we box that. Maybe we play some daily doubles with the Live Mexico. But I think there is an approach to just finding some long shots this week. Small card, some long shot numbers, play them to top 20 as well. Because I really can't make a case against Rory right now, other than maybe he just doesn't give a shit after he, absolutely unloaded it at Augusta.
That's the problem, is that I think he could show up here not super engaged and giving a shit.
70%.
And, with his current form. And to your point, Shane's current form is also pretty solid. They feel like just stylistically a really nice duo for alternate shot in best ball formats. You have someone like Rory Hey, Shane is in the fairway and he's fine. This is a club down spot, but we're good. Send it and just see what happens, right? Like there's no risk for doing that here, right? And just that, especially in that format where you have to go super low first round, super low on Saturday, because we're going to get into like 25, 30 under to win.
Yeah.
When you're playing best ball, those have to be 9, 10 under rounds. And when you have someone like Rory in your team for that format, it's a pretty massive advantage to be able to just be like, yeah, you know what? We're going to play a different style, Shane, find the fairway. And I'm just going to send it and see what happens here. Or like I'd be super aggressive in my approach in here. You're not going to play to the fat part of the green. I'm going to go pin seeking. And then, I know you could play to, give us a shot if it doesn't go well, right? There's just stylistically, there's such a good pairing too, because that's the problem with handicapping the week too. Last couple of years have been single bullet, just, a lighter week coincides nicely with the NFL draft, which is a heavier week from a betting standpoint. Just, to your point, find a team that can get, white hot with the putters and has some short term and maybe some good baseline approach numbers, and then just call it a day, get ready for a nice stretch, right? So like Byron Nelson next week, but then we start to get into like a really nice stretch, around PGA, US Open. We start to get into the, Memorial pops in there. Canada's a lot of fun. We have the Truist, slash, artist formerly known as Wells Fargo. Like we get a nice little stretch. So kind of saving some stuff here a little bit. I don't mind. So have you made a bet?
No.
Okay. All right. We could talk you into something here. A little team win. In terms of the course, we don't have anything else that I would say. If you're not, again, top 33 in ties will make the weekend. And again, it's the best ball rounds 1 and rounds 3. Alternate shot on the second and fourth rounds. The alternate shot is challenging. Those are the days that you guys can come back to the field. If you go out there alternate shot and throw up a 5-6 under par round, it's a pretty nice spot in a way for you to gain some leverage there. And again, Rory and Shane eating up a ton of win equity. Ron's got a lot of details in terms of form, teammate wise, in his model in the preview. I'm sure we'll have some more content from there as well. Interesting track. I mean, I kind of am I'm a Pete Dye fan. I like the spots.
I don't hate this course. No.
Yeah. Everyone you kind of bring in. That's why you've seen the, last year was it Fishburne and Blair. Like they didn't close well, obviously, but like not a lot of spots where on the PGA Tour you're going to get them being able to go toe to toe in a spot where Shane and Rory had to come back from behind last year, right? So that's kind of what Pete Dye courses are designed to do in terms of just strategy, in terms of second shot, importance of second shots, and being able to be dialed in from there. Good corollary course week 2, TPC courses. I think you can find some mix there around diet courses as well. You can use the rabbit hole to do that for you as well.
Yeah, we'll look in. Not only that, but bookmakers down for maintenance right now, which is annoying because that's one less place for me to shop. Rory and Shane sitting around plus 350 a lot of places. Some bigger names near the top. I don't know if I want to bet someone at under 20-1 though to take them on. I think I really do have to find some guys that can pop from deep. And I wish Bud Cauley had a different partner. I'm not sure I can bet on Kevin Tway. Some of those guys who've had nice years who are a little further in the weeds. But again, Ryan Gerard's playing with Danny Walker. I don't know if I'm a Danny Walker guy. Highsmith and Toasty. That's a terrible pairing. For a course where off the tee doesn't matter a lot, I suppose. Maybe I'm being a little hard on Highsmith, I guess, but it is very much a second shot course with wide fairways, non-penal rough, like you talked about. I'm just looking at teams, without even looking at stats, trying to find some. Knapp and Frankie Sappin. That's a team I can't back. All these teams are going to be like the top 5. Now that I'm making fun of them,
I know.
But it's tough to find 2 guys this far down where it's like, all right. Honestly, there it is. Hostler and Putnam. All right, make it a bet. 70-1.
Okay.
Bo Hostler, Andy Putz. Bo Hostler, Andy Putz. There we go. I'll see if I can find a better price. I'm not going to actually punch that one in until I shop it around a little bit. There's some guys that can get behind. Did you make any bets yet?
Made one bet. Higher up. I am.
It is Phillips.
No, I would be a good team though. Phillips, got home for me. Thor almost got home last week. Bogeyed 18. Did not have the ending that.
I had Toasty.
Oh, did you see the Damon?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Respect for doing the presser. I feel like he did it out of spite. Like he's like, who's gonna hate this? I'm gonna go up there and just dump my heart out. Colin's gonna be mad.
I know. God, I saw he got tagged in a lot of those comments section of Joel Namath.
Social off.
Bogey finish. Missed the really short putt on 17.
2-footer.
Hit a horrendous chip on 18, and then left himself out there. But Gary Higo took that home. Thor was very much in the mix and played some really good golf. Did not go Thor Phillips. Phillips again, like 40, 45. Like it's just still so short. Even though there's a huge gap for the most part with Shane and Rory at the top, and then you get Kitayama and Morikawa at 12. I see Bobby Mack and Thomas Dietrich have closed a little bit. It's an interesting pairing stylistically, but 18 is just not for my liking. I am on Tommy Tables and Billy Ho, 28. Pretty good recent form. I mean, both pretty good recent approach form. Horschel missed the cut at the Masters, but his approach game was pretty solid. Played okay last week. What do we got? Like 4 straight weeks of, I don't know, between T3 and T18 for Hoagie, and the putter's been white hot too, along with the approach game. So I like those guys. I think they're a good pairing. They can make birdies in bunches, and I like the approach play. So that was the number. I was maybe thinking 30, but then once I saw some other places open up at like 18 or 20, I jumped on the 28s that were out there in the market. I think they're still there. FanDuel still, I think, at 28 for folks out there looking to get down a little shorter pretty much everywhere else. So that's my favorite of the bunch. My one and done. Another one that I really like is Norgard and Svensson. Those two dudes just absolutely, it's just pound town for those guys, but they're like 35. Like I wanted that to be like a long shot play.
Yeah, I don't know that putting is going to be overly difficult here if your approach play as well.
Yeah, no, you just got to score though. You know what I mean?
You still do. Yeah, you obviously have to score, but it is the overseeded Bermuda. The word is escaping me right now. The Triv. So I don't think these putting greens are going to be overly difficult for some of the guys that struggle with that. So another team I'm looking at, and I'm trying to pull up other prices right now just to make sure I get the best of this too. The Zurich Classic of New Orleans. I think a lot of people just go there because it's a fun town too. It's kind of like, what do they call it now? The one at Silverado. They changed the name of the Napa one too.
Oh yeah, no, that's it was the Fortinet.
Fortinet.
Yeah.
People just go there because their wives are like, well, I want to go to Napa. But if you want to go all approach, no putter, you can do a lot worse than Doug Gim Chan Kim.
Yeah, that's a fantastic all approach, no putt team.
60, like Chan Kim he's a top 20 approach guy right now. Terrible putter. Doug Gim, probably even better approach player. Great ball striker. Top 20 tee to green guy. Maybe one of the worst putters in the field.
Yeah, that's the tricky part, right? We don't have the data because I think in a spot where you got to make putts, right? We're going to get to 25, 30. So in this type of format, it's not that I want away putting, but I need you guys to one of the two of you bozos has to make one, right? Like you got to convert these birdie opportunities when you get them here. Cause
that's what I'm saying. The team no putt guys make putts sometimes.
Sure.
And that's the thing. Like if you have two of them, all you're looking is one of them to make some putts. And honestly, with how good these guys are from an approach standpoint, maybe they're not putting from very far away. So I'm gonna see what the oh my god now Bet Online is just locking up. Jesus Christ, nothing's working right today.
The one team that I think is interesting. I'm going to look at the partner there. I definitely have opinions on the one player. Let me see. It's our recent form. It's just funny because, like, I've talked to Cal about this. We want form, until you win, or like we like you. We can't back you. You already won this event. It's a little bit tricky. But Davis Riley's playing really good golf. Like, I'm going to find a spot later this summer when some of these weird events, when maybe the field's a little bit weaker, to back Davis Riley. He and Nick Hardy won this event a couple years ago. Nick Hardy's recent form is not fantastic whatsoever. But in terms of like bombs, I'd be way more into that, strangely, if they hadn't won this event before. It's almost like, but they're 90 to 1 for Davis Riley and Nick Hardy, who again have, already done this. So that's, maybe a finishing position bet, to your point, from like with the ponies. Like, this is maybe a top 10 play, maybe a top 5 showing for them to be in the mix again. Because I like what we're seeing from Davis Riley of late.
Yeah. And yeah, there's guys I like here. Lee Hodges is kind of a great fit here for a long shot, but he's playing with Jason Duffner. I can't bet on Duffner. Huh? What's that?
I didn't know Duffner was still in the mix.
Some of these guys I don't think play all that much, but people need partners, and some guys are just taking this week off, and you need 155 goddamn golfers to fill out this field. So some of these guys, same thing with Smalley. Like, I like Smalley a lot. I don't like Joseph Bramlett. Maybe I don't.
It was funny, actually. Ron and I did a few things yesterday looking at data, and I don't know what it was. I think approach proximity from 200 plus, which matters a lot this week.
Bramlett.
There was a bunch of Bramlett stuff. Bramlett popped multiple times. And, yeah. And another team that's pretty interesting, just from stylistically, like Bramlett can bang it out there a mile on some holes where you can be more aggressive. That could come into play.
There's some fives. You line it up so he hits the majority of the fives.
Yep. Again, I want that number to be 60, 70. Like, I don't know what you're seeing. If I do see a 50, I guess it's the biggest number out there, but I would want that to be, a little bit bigger. But I don't hate that duo.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for Bookmaker to come back online before I decide on some of these. It's probably gonna be a short newsletter this week, guys. I don't have a ton to say. I should send 2 out for teammates. Send one and then send the other one out. Here's the teammate coming out later. I got to work on more mock drafts. I can do another mock draft today, I think, for the NFL. But yeah, the Zurich, I don't know. Modeling it is tough, but I think if you follow Ron on Twitter, he put out a pretty good tweet with a nice big chart. That's a really good place to start.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, just start looking at guys you like to play well on this sort of course, and then look at their teammates, start crossing them off. It's kind of what I do every year. I play some long shots here. I've had guys in the mix. I miss the team event, having some long shots in the mix in like the Final Four. I think I had Hoagie make a deep run for me once down in Austin, but this is kind of similar. Like,
the match play. Yeah, I miss match play a lot.
I do. I miss filling out a bracket.
Yeah.
But I think that's just, the same kind of thing. Just looking for some guys you think that can find some low scores here based on how they're set up, based on probably ball striking and approach. And if you can find a team where one of them isn't the world's worst putter and you can get 50, 60, 70, 80 to 1, there's some nice teams here that you can take some shots at. I'm probably going to find 3 teams I like, bet them all to top 20 as well. And it's going to be small stakes, take it easy, because, we got NBA playoffs, we got the draft, we got the NHL. Shit, I'm betting hockey every night too. We got soccer. Save the bankroll, guy. What?
Getting after it. Yeah, sometimes I'll see a tweet from you. I'm like, I have no idea what he's talking about. But he just bet on some random, I don't know. Yeah, I know you're betting tennis still.
Oh, I love tennis for sure.
Yeah. You're in the streets all over the place, just basic guy, I bet my golf tournaments. We'll bet the draft. We'll bet the next golf tournament.
I'm trying to get somebody to help me with Poly Market. Apparently, you can't bet that in Canada either. I was trying to send money to a Canadian. He was like, I don't think I can do this either. It's also illegal in France, as it turns out. So might have to call Suma. I think Germany can do it.
Okay. I love it. That's all I got, man.
Other thoughts on the course?
No. it's the rough is minimal. We looked in, because again, you can go into tools and look at the course, the course stats page, and it's got all the data from when it was a singles event. You can see, you're like, hey, it stops 2016. What happened? It's broken. No, it's just when it was a just singles format. Like it's about 40% driver usage, which is, I don't know, 25, 26% less than the standard tour average event, with a majority of the, approach shots coming from 200 plus. So forced layups, less than driver. But again, with the format, it's less than driver for one of the dudes and the other can be super aggressive, right? If you're smart, like you shouldn't just be both picking your spots. It's like, all right, let's get one out there. And if you didn't hit it well, then I have to be, conservative as well and make sure we have a ball in play. Otherwise, you hit it out there, I'm going to send it and just see what happens.
I'm going Happy Gilmore on this ball.
Yeah. I'll just, and then, we happen to get to play that ball and we're good. So like it changes the dynamic. So while I wouldn't use less than driver necessarily to model anything this week because I'm not sure it's going to matter for a bunch of holes. So it just gets really tricky. So recent form stuff, I think, is probably your best bet to Andy's point. It's just, especially approach, just who's ball striking well, approach, last 12 rounds, last 24 rounds, last 30, just some good stuff that kind of lines up with baseline approach numbers. It's going to be the stickiest way, especially if you're taking the approach that Andy's talking about and looking for some good finishes, right? More so than the spike weeks. Who's going to keep me in the top 20? Baseline numbers historically are going to be something you want to lean on. But
yeah, if you have any teams that you have questions on, meet me in the Discord, meet me on the Twitter streets, leave them in the comments to the YouTube. It's good. It's a short one just because it's hard to model this. It's hard to predict team play. Like, I think you just need to find some guys you like and be comfortable with the numbers. And that's, that's why we don't have stroke scan data. There's a lot of times, players are, similar to the Ryder Cup or President's Cup, or they're picking balls up, they didn't even finish some of the holes. With alternate shot, it's very difficult to get complete data when a guy plays, the second and fourth shot on a hole.
Yeah. Another team, Grayson and Echeverria.
I really feel like they should be able to get it on the best ball.
Yeah. Give it something.
Although even then, people are picking balls up because if you're in for birdie,
sure,
the other guy has a birdie putt. He's not putting. He's picking it up. So, I mean, there's plenty of best ball holes where one guy doesn't finish.
Yeah, and just the pricing, I just don't love either, which makes it tricky. Like I'm seeing, I think Grayserman and Echeverria is a nice, interesting team. And 33, I don't know.
It's just too low. I looked at them right
too
away.
Short.
Too low.
Yeah.
No, I need big numbers. I need big fat 50s or better for this one, I think. And then
yeah,
some top 20s and roll from there. I am going to do a one and done article. It's also going to be short. It's basically going to say, where else are you going to use Shane Lowry? Because I don't, Mayo Cup doesn't do this week. I don't believe.
I've already used Shane Lowry, so
yeah, you fucked up if you well, other sites and other one and dones, they just say like, even if you used Rory, you can use Shane and you just get their team. So if you do have this week, you kind of got to plan that. But I feel like Mayo Cup takes this week off, don't they?
Splash takes this week off too. So
yeah, I'll do a short one for the people who have that. But I mean, the answer is just take Lowry. Unless you're really chasing and you want to get goofy with it or you used him, you probably just take Lowry and you get Rory and you get that best team because that just makes sense, doesn't it, guys? The other option, obviously, is Kitayama. You can take Kitayama and then you get Colin. If something is awry and you've used Shane and Rory at this point and you're playing in a one and done where you need to, Kitayama's not somebody you're saving for the playoffs. So go ahead.
True. Good point.
Yeah, man, I'm tapping out.
We need light weeks. We need a light week. It's not a great data week, but it's not a non-data week. But it's harder to model than any others. I actually want to pull forward what I did last year, and I'm like, I didn't even make anything last year. So at least I did something this year. But just looking at, like I said, just different buckets of approach in terms of number of rounds, par 5 birdie rates, overall birdie rates. Looking a little bit at proximity overall from 200 plus. It's kind of it. The model that I built pretty basically. So.
Yeah, my next one that I built last year was TPC Cool Ranch. It says
so, next week.
Yeah,
another birdie fest.
It looks like I skipped one, but next week I'll have my model, and then I have my Myrtle Beach model. I don't think you can change the name of a saved model. I'm gonna have to talk to the dev team. I wish I could do that because I want to change my Wells Fargo one.
Oh,
to
true.
Truest. To the Truest, as we have none. So, if you want to get on board MGM, you don't have an MGM account, get an MGM account. Use code BetSpurtsGolf. We'll send you a free year. That's a lot. That's a $250 value. You can literally get I think their first offer is free bet up to, I don't know how high it goes.
It's 1,500 in bonus bets.
1,500. Yeah. So you can make your first bet, lose it, you can get that back in bonus bets as high as you want to go up to 1,500. If anybody's super unfamiliar how to game those, you can just bet both sides of that. It's a different book, and take advantage of that. And then even if you lose, you have the bonus bets and you've won at the other book. You can just get free bonus bets minus the juice at that point. So take advantage of that if you're comfortable outlaying some cash and getting yourself some free bonus bets at MGM. But like I said, if you don't have an account, if your wife, girlfriend, father-in-law, whoever doesn't have an account, just get it signed up, use that promo code, and you get you a free year of the rabbit holes, $250. So it's a pretty good deal. Take advantage of that. If you have questions, our DMs are open. For me and Ryan, this has been the BetSports Golf Hour, the 27-minute edition, Zurich Classic. We'll catch you next week for
Lord Byron.
Lord Byron.